almost there, but I daren't look up. I need to focus more than ever.
Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we're looking at the most dangerous and potentially life-threatening moments on Blue Peter.
Slide the knot down. I got it. Okay? Yeah. Just work your way down like that.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Number 10. The Campfire. 100 girl guides were brought into the Blue Peter studio for this edition of the show from the early 70s, but for a moment it was touch and go whether any of the girl guides would leave, or if they'd go the same way as the toasted marshmallows. Rather than go outside or rig up a fake fire with some wood and orange lights, the crew lit a real one, and in a matter of minutes it spiraled out of control.
If you're happy and you know it, say we are. We are. If you're happy and you know it, say we are.
Black smoke filled the room. As it went on, you could see them looking at the fire with concern, realizing that they were about to have a big problem. Thankfully, they had fire extinguishers on hand.
We're on fire! We're on fire, so we'll just get the firemen in behind.
Number 9. Floodlights.
Queen's Park Rangers has its own mobile electric generator, and in charge of it was electrician Charlie Howard.
We are going to be seeing John Noakes a lot in this video, as you were probably expecting. He was both the longest running presenter in the show's history and responsible for Blue Peter's daredevil stunts. After him, many presenters would build reputations for feats of daring do. In 1974, he offered to help football team Queen's Park Rangers repair their floodlights after seeing them through the windows of the Blue Peter offices.
I was glad the bulb was tucked away in my anorak. If I had to carry it, it mightn't have been quite so safe. Even in gloves, my fingers were quite numb.
But how exactly does one fix an enormous stadium floodlight? In typical Noakes fashion, he climbed all the way to the top with no safety equipment whatsoever, carrying a fragile light bulb. We're sure even a lot of QPR's biggest supporters wouldn't do this.
The view's lovely, Charlie. It is drafty. Which one, that one?
Number 8. Kayaking the Amazon.
I have to be honest, my paddling experience is very limited.
For our money, the second bravest Blue Peter presenter of all time is Helen Skelton, who has achieved many things both during and after her time as a presenter on the show. In 2010, she embarked on a mission to kayak the entire length of the Amazon to raise money for sport relief, with Blue Peter producing multiple shows to follow her entire journey and decorating her kayak in Blue Peter livery.
This feels like the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, and I haven't even got there yet.
Luckily, everything went well, but between deadly wildlife and river currents, the potential for something to go very wrong was there.
I'm going to kayak the Amazon 6 or 7 days a week for 6 weeks.
2010 miles.
She's also, incredibly, the first person to reach the South Pole on a bicycle. Number 7. Boat crash.
One thing you must have, of course, if you're going to have a powerboat race is other competitors. Well, I'm only a beginner, so I'm going to race 2 other beginners, Peter and John.
More water. In 1968, the presenters got into a speedboat race with each other down the Thames. Peter Purvis and John Noakes did all right, but Valerie Singleton ended up crashing.
When the spray had settled, all I could see was a shattered hull, the remains of Val's boat.
The boat was destroyed, but luckily, Valerie and her instructor Bob were rescued by Peter, with the race being immediately called off in the wake of the accident. But a high-speed boat crash is something that could have ended far worse.
And I looked at the back and the engine was off and the whole of the back of the boat was out and it was filling with water.
Valerie later explained that the rain had stopped her from being able to see that there was a big piece of wood in the river and they couldn't get out of the way in time. Thank God they were all wearing life jackets and helmets.
I shook for quite a few hours after that with the cold, I can tell you.
Number 6. The Cresta Run.
Here you go down on your own, lying flat on your stomach with your face just a few centimetres above the ice.
Skeleton is one of the most frightening and dangerous sports out there, with athletes setting off head first on a sled down an ice track. So it was only natural that Blue Peter should send John Noakes over to Switzerland to try the Cresta Run, the birthplace of the sport. As Noakes explains, the sport is so risky that they don't usually let beginners attempt the Cresta Run, and he'd actually already crashed while trying a similar sport the year before.
It's these bends that sort out the men from the boys. If you go into any one of them badly, you'll be thrown out of the course and find yourself crashing over the ice wall.
Nothing went wrong on the day, luckily, but it's all too easy to imagine something catastrophic could have happened. Even with the best equipment at the time, it was still the 70s.
Even as a newcomer, I was touching 50 miles an hour at the finish. My time for the course was 98 seconds. Slow, but not disgraceful for a first ride.
Number 5. George escapes.
From his early days on the programme, George's life has been eventful.
Ratty nearly trying the tortoise then.
He was a beloved pet rather than a presenter, but ended up in such a dangerous situation that the show's producers genuinely believed he had died and put out a heartfelt eulogy for Britain's children to weep over. In 1988, there was a break-in, and George, the Blue Peter tortoise, ended up escaping, with producers actually thinking he'd somehow been killed.
We have some extraordinary news about our other missing star. And it is brilliant news because George is back. He has returned to us. Welcome back, George.
So they put together a film and made the announcement to viewers. Until a few days later, he was discovered by a member of the public and her pet dog. George was brought back to the studio and lived out the rest of his days, but very easily could have come to an end during his time at large.
Put you in. Night, George. Sleep tight. Bye-bye.
Number 4. Freefall.
With Freefall, the idea is to delay opening your chute till you get down to a given height.
This harrowing Noakes moment was certainly safer than other things he'd done, since he actually had some proper equipment, but still terrifying for anybody without a head for heights. He wanted to be the first civilian to do a 5-mile freefall, which is something usually only airmen do as part of their RAF training.
If you were upside down when you opened your parachute, it could tangle around you and you could be killed.
So, essentially, Noakes joined the RAF for a few weeks to learn how to do it properly. He headed up over to Salisbury and made his attempt, succeeding along with a group of rookie airmen. Perhaps a whole generation of British kids was inspired to join the RAF after watching John Noakes narrowly avoid death yet again. Number 3. Battersea Power Station.
I'm going to attempt to walk from that chimney to this one on a wire no wider than this 10p piece.
Another showing from Helen Skelton. In 2011, merely a year after her Amazon achievement, she decided to do another challenge to raise money, this time for comic relief. She did a tightrope walk between the famous chimneys of Battersea Power Station, training to do it for months beforehand, all of which was followed by Blue Peter.
After a few weeks of specialist training, I finally complete an 80-metre long wire 20 metres up.
Unlike many other high-up appearances on Blue Peter, Helen was attached to another wire above her, so she wouldn't have died if she fell off. But there's still always the chance that something huge could go wrong, and it's certainly one of the most frightening things she's ever done.
The wind is really starting to pick up, and I feel totally exposed.
Oh, wind. Please go away.
Number 2. Steeplejacking.
The room with the clock mechanism was 290 steps up. I was a bit exhausted, so I was glad of the chance of a quick rest and a look round.
In 1980, Peter Duncan took on the mantle of Daredevil-in-Chief and was sent to learn how steeplejacks cleaned the clock face of Big Ben. Back then, there was no safety equipment whatsoever, just a swing attached to a rope that was suspended from a balcony.
You're going over, right?
Yeah. You're going to show me how to do it, are you?
I'll try.
The steeplejacks showing Duncan the ropes, literally, insisted it was perfectly safe, and it's true that he wasn't injured. But you can't help but watch in horror, thinking about what would have happened if someone made one wrong move and plummeted to their death.
Now, pull that knot tight, and you just sit there, you're not going to go anywhere then.
The entire clock tower is over 300 feet tall. There would be no coming back from a fall like that. Number 1. Nelson's Column. Is this the most iconic Blue Peter moment of all time? After the legendary Tracy Island build? Possibly. It was, of course, another John Noakes classic, where he was asked to do the most frightening thing yet, scale Nelson's Column to clean it of bird poo.
You have to take a rest every so often when climbing a ladder this long, otherwise your muscles weaken and you could easily lose your grip and fall.
The ladders were all attached with rope, but the workmen weren't attached to the ladders. Like the steeplejacks, if they fell off, that'd be the end. Noakes joined them, climbing up wobbly, flimsy ladders with absolutely no safety equipment whatsoever.
I found myself literally hanging from the ladder with nothing at all beneath me.
It wasn't just Noakes though, of course. The cameraman had to do it all too. He also had to do it twice because of technical difficulties the first time.
Oh, you just lower yourselves over? Yeah, you just sit in the bosun's chair and you lower yourself over.
Let us know if you'd attempt any of these stunts in the comments.
Kneel down on the base there.
If I kneel down, I'll start praying, I think.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo UK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.